Hi there and welcome to Ambitious Single Moms, Stories of Strength and Success. I'm Sonja from Your Success Story, Single Mom Level Up Edition, and I'm thrilled to have you here with us today. I'm a mother of 3 wonderful daughters, and when my husband separated from me in 2017, he moved out on a Sunday and the next morning my mother died unexpectedly. During this time, I was although in the middle of chemotherapy. Suddenly, I'm all alone with 3 small children. As a single mom and a businesswoman, I know firsthand how challenging and rewarding this journey can be. When I first became a single mom, I felt overwhelmed and uncertain about the future. But through support and consistency, I've managed to build a life that I'm proud of, both for myself and my 3 children. This podcast is all about celebrating the incredible stories of ambitious single moms who are not only raising their children with love and dedication, but also pursuing their dreams and building successful businesses. Each episode, we will dive into their journeys, exploring the heights and lows, the lessons learned, and the strategies they've used to overcome challenges. My goal is to inspire, motivate, and provide valuable insights for all the amazing single moms out there who are striving to create a better future for themselves and their families. Remember, you are not alone on this journey, and there are endless possibilities when you take charge of your life. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Ambitious Single Moms, Stories of Strength and Success. I'm your host, Sonja Zipser, and I'm beyond excited to introduce our amazing guest today. Joining us is Shirley McGowan, a single mom and successful businesswoman who has not only navigated the challenges of parenthood, but has also thrived in her personal life. Shirley, we are thrilled to have you with us. Your journey and achievements are incredibly inspiring, and I can't wait to dive into your story and share your insights with our listeners. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sonja. What a beautiful introduction.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
That's great that you took the time to join us and share your journey. You are a mother of how many kids?
Of 2 young children, 3 and 6.
3 and 6. Okay, yeah, that's my kids are already 15 and older, so it's a completely different journey you're going through. For how long have you been divorced?
I'm actually not divorced yet. We're separated for
Okay.
1 year now.
Okay.
But officially 1 year, but we've been living together as a separate couple really for several years before I then made the decision to move out from the marital home.
Okay. So it's all quite fresh and new and still challenging, I guess, for you and the kids.
Yeah, somehow new, but also kind of old, because although we were living in the same house, we were really living separate lives. I felt a single mom for as long as I remember being a mother. It was just very challenging for him to adapt to the new family life, I guess. And we had lots of conversations, and yeah, I just never got there to the point where I felt we were a real partnership. So the transition of leaving the marital home was at the end more of a emotional one than a practical one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you just mentioned you were a single mom or it felt being a single mom for so many years. I think so many women can relate to that because, after several years, the marriage everybody goes another direction, and you don't share the same interests anymore. And yeah, a lot of women feel the same being a single mom in a marriage. So how were you able as a couple to make the step into separating finally?
A lot of thought went into it. Obviously, I'm a person that believes in family life very, very strongly. It's one of my core values. And so it was very difficult for me to really make that decision. So I spent a lot of time, I want to say years really, in contemplating what is the right step for me, but most importantly for my children, because the happiness of our children is number one for us mothers, right? And that's why so many moms stay stuck in a marriage.
Yeah.
What I have done is I went into a personal development journey. I started working on my mindset, and I started working with Bob Proctor, really, an amazing man that has helped millions of people around the world. And I just came across him because I was looking for something that was helping me out of postnatal depression.
Great.
And that was the start of my journey of understanding who I am, of understanding that I am worthy of being happy, of understanding that if I am happy, my children will be happy. And so it took me to the conclusion that I'm not happy in this marriage. I'm not being taken care of the way that I deserve. I'm not being loved the way that I thought I was being loved. I had obviously a lot of conversations there to improve the situation, and I could see that there was not happening. There was no interest really in stepping up, and from his side. And so I'm like, okay, I've done everything, and now I am at a stage where I'm going to start to think of how can I practically implement this now.
Oh,
So
Shirley,
it's really a
thank you for sharing. This is so important and so valuable for so many other women, because yeah, it's all about starting with ourselves. We can only change ourselves, and you just said it. You did everything you could do, and then you made the decision to leave and to separate. But before that, you worked on yourself, and that's so great. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Bob Proctor also says that it starts with a decision, right? It's
Yeah.
our choice. So we cannot be victim and say, this is what is happening to me, and so I'm staying with that. No, you can choose to not be the victim of your marriage, of your unhappiness, of the state of how you feel. You can really choose to step up. And that was a big teaching for me.
Mm.
And so yes, is definitely, it starts with yourself, and then it starts with taking action. And when I chose that this is not for me and this is not healthy for my children either, then I made the decision. And once you make the decision, then you see at how can I make this happen? What are the avenues? And yeah, if any mom is listening that is stuck in a marriage that they are unhappy, this is really where the journey starts, within yourself.
Yeah, and making a decision and having a vision for your life. How do you really want the marriage to, or what do you want in your life as a woman? Not only as a mother, but also as a woman. And we always speak only about, hey, I don't like that. I don't like my husband, the way he's doing this. I don't like my kids doing this, like that. And I don't like my life. But we, most of the time, we don't know what we want in our life. So that's, I think, is the start to know what do I want to change, and then the change begins in ourselves.
Yeah, and many women, or people in general, really men as well, they don't know what they want. And so an easy thing to do is write down what you don't want.
Yeah.
And the opposite is what you want. Very
Yeah,
simple,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's good. Thank you for that advice. Yeah. writing down, but most of the time people don't want to face things. They don't want to write it down, what they actually don't know. They don't want to face where they have to change. Have you experienced that as well?
Yes. That is part of the personal journey, isn't it? To really look inside, like, oh, that's actually not what I was expecting to see. And that's all right. The fact that you are aware of it now, makes you able to change it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really about looking inside and seeing everything the way it really is. Be true to yourself, and just face it.
Yeah, absolutely. Would
I
you
mean, and
say
that
that?
continues to happen, right? The other day I was sitting with my coach, and she was like, Shirley, I think you're making excuses. I was like, hold on a second, that hurts right now. I'm making excuses. Hold on a second. I've overcome so many things, and I'm making excuses. And I'm like, well, it takes someone external sometimes to tell you, hey, this is how it looks like, and it doesn't mean that's what it is, but it opens up your awareness, and you can look at it and you're like, all right, am I making excuses? Can I actually improve myself?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you give yourself the answer, and you're like, hold on a second, this is really something that, is something that I can't work on at the moment, but I know I can do something in the future, or really something you can tackle on right now. And there we go. You have solved whatever challenge you're going through.
And as you said a few minutes ago, yes, and it's all about taking action. You have to change something, and yeah, you can't do it right away and change everything, but you can start with small steps, and that's, I think, very important. And yes, therefore you need sometimes a coach, a mentor who's pointing to the blind spots you are not willing to look into, and you're not willing to face them all alone. So it's always good to have someone beside you who helps you through this process.
100%. Yes. Because when we are in the situation, we cannot see everything. And
Yeah.
someone external can actually see things a bit clearer. They are not emotionally involved with that, right? So it is good to have the right people around you, people that
Yes.
share your values, people that maybe have gone through the journey. So you have to really look at who you're listening to, who you're asking that help for. So that's really,
Yeah.
really important. But then, reach out to them and like, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I'm going through now. Can you just have a look at it? Can we just have a conversation about it?
Yeah.
And things start to develop that way.
And would you say that every single mom could do that?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Yes. I mean, the world of the internet has opened up to grow communities around us that go beyond our neighbors that live on the either side of our houses, or people that go to the same school. My real community is built online in the
Yeah.
whole world, and as I started to understand who are my people, I noticed also, hey, they are across the road as well, but not necessarily at school, or not necessarily, I don't know if you go to clubs or whatever,
Mhm.
like book clubs or whatever, that, you have to really discern who are the people that can push you forward, and who are
Yeah.
the people that don't have that same awareness that you have. So it's very important to choose the people you surround yourself.
Absolutely. People who have the same vision, who want to change something, because um, most of the time when you got divorced or separated, you especially when the husband cheated on you or the husband left, so yeah, you stick with your best friend, and you are always talking about the ex-husband, how bad he was and it still is and everything, but this doesn't help you. It doesn't help you change your life. And that's what I experience as well, that when you stuck in with your mind in the old relationship, always thinking, oh, what could have been better? What could I have changed? Yeah, that's of course a good question, but only if you use it to change something in your life and not beating yourself up and telling yourself every time, oh, I could have done better or different, or he's wrong, he was wrong and he did wrong and he was not good, and that's not no help.
No, definitely isn't. I was stuck in there myself. So I left about a year ago, a year and about 2 weeks ago. So it's almost like an anniversary of leaving. And it was very tough emotionally, as I mentioned before. I wasn't there mentally anymore, emotionally. I wasn't in that marriage anymore. Just my body was there.
Yeah.
Because I already had that vision that my life is somewhere else. But then when my body followed, I was impacted with new challenges that I wasn't expecting. But because I went through that whole work of personal development, mindset, etc., I also built a certain community around me. I knew what to do to help myself, and I knew where to reach to for certain things that I knew I needed. So it's very important to be very, very aware of what you're going through, even if you don't know exactly what it is. The fact that you are aware you are going through something, and then looking out at, oh, I built this community, there's this person that could help me with that, reach out to that person and work through it. And so I was very much stuck in, why couldn't he love me?
Yeah.
What have I done to this person to deserve to be treated this way after I've done so much? I left my own country to be with this man, right? And why can't he appreciate it? Now I'm stuck in this country where I live in the UK, and I have two small young children, and I believe that they need their father. And so I can't just take them so easily and go back to my country.
Yeah.
So, it's something like that decision I made at the time to marry him has had a bigger impact on me than on him, because he's still in his own country, he has his family around that all of a sudden appeared and supported him. So I was stuck in that thing of, I've done all of this, I deserved more from you, I deserved more love. And we can easily get stuck in that resentment, and if we get stuck there, it can become also hatred, right? And it can become like, oh, I'm going to do harm to you now because you have done harm to me. Well, I invite you to choose how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
And, do you want to choose your life in hatred, or do you want to choose a life where you are led with your heart and love? Because that love, that hatred, whatever you send out, that comes back to you.
Absolutely, yes.
And so I chose to work through that. I understood that really, that those feelings that I had is not like I'm not deserving of love. It's not that I deserved to be treated that way. It's just that he's not aware of what he's doing. As simple as that.
And in my opinion, sorry.
So he's just stuck with that. I'm not stuck with that. I move forward with love, first of all, for myself, and then for my children. Because if I lead with heart and love, that is going to expand into my surrounding. And that's what I want for my children. I want this house filled with love. Yeah. And so this was my choice. And that meant that I had to work through those obstacles so that I wasn't stuck in that resentment that I was carrying with me whilst we were married as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, for me, it's I see it that this was that the marriage, and I have 3 kids. It was a chapter in my life, and we were supposed to get these 3 children together, and it's just a chapter. And I also, at the beginning, I was very emotional because he left me. So my ego was very angry, and I was not happy about that situation, of course, and but I made through personal development as well. I made the decision that I wanted to be a good parent for my kids, and we are both parents. So, and we are also role models for our kids. So, what do I want to show them? I have 3 daughters, and I'm separated for 7 years now and divorced for 5 years. They are now grown up, nearly 15, 18, and nearly 20. So they are beautiful, strong, young women, but I think it a lot helped them to become that person is because my ex-husband and myself, we decided to be good parents together. And now we are also friends together. And that is also possible to become friends again and be good parents and be able to discuss topics about the children. And yeah, and that's so important.
100%. Yes. And that is what I am happy about, that although our marriage didn't work out, we are doing our utmost to be good parents. And so when we separated, we did it also very gradually because they were 2 and 5, so very, very young. And and so it's not like I moved out and they didn't see their dad anymore. It was like we both moved out of the marital home. Actually, we sold and we moved out the same area. So we really live very close by. We could walk to each other's houses, right? So that is on the interest of our children. So that obviously they don't walk over there, they're really too young, but it's like when there were certain situations where the child was really distressed because the other parent was not there, we could just give a call. In 2 minutes they were here.
Yeah.
Or I was going there. And we tried to avoid that, to be honest, because we have been also advised to try not to what is the word I'm looking for, to blend it too much, because otherwise they get really confused. They have to really understand this is mommy house, that is daddy house, and you have 2 houses. And this is now mommy time and this is daddy time. But the good thing was that if it came to the worst, then the other parent could just very quickly go and and look after the children and say, hey, everything is okay. But in our situation, what happened as well was that I found this place and he was looking for his place still. And so he was coming often here for dinner, lunch, spending a bit of time, and then he would leave. So that was a very good transition for them. But then at a certain point, I'm extending my answer, I'm sorry, but it might help for women that are going through that right now. It's like at a certain point you have to set boundaries and you're like, okay, now you have your own space, you stay there and I'm here, and you're not coming for dinner anymore. But it's like it's a good transition for the children to slowly move to the fact that, okay, mommy's here and daddy's still here as well. What changes is that sometimes I live with mommy, sometimes I live with daddy.
Yeah. So, what would you say for your kids? What was the hardest thing for them during this year? Did they have a challenge or did they manage it quite well?
I was surprised at how well they managed in one way. And on the other side, I wasn't too surprised because really they were spending time either with me or with their dad. And sometimes we had family time whilst we were living together. So really, not many habits have changed when we moved. But of course, the question, especially for my older child, who is very, very aware and very intuitive as well, he's like, what is happening? I mean, you and daddy get along well. Why are we not living together? Because a rule that we have set between my or the father of my children and and myself, what we have said is, in front of the children, we will never have a rough conversation. Luckily, it never happened. But since we separated, we've been quite good with that. But in front of the children, we've put the rule that we always respect each other. We never badmouth each other. So it's very important that you set certain rules when you go through that. And so for the child, it looks like everything is fine. What is happening? And even yesterday or the day before, my 6-year-old was like, I want to go on holiday with you and daddy together, because now he's on holiday with his dad. And he's like, why can't we go all together? And so I had to explain to him that we were, although it looks like we were happy, we were not really happy. And we had to make this decision, or as difficult as it was for mommy and daddy, we had to make this decision so that you can be happy. And we had a whole conversation about happiness. So I based it on that. So it's very important to help the children through their emotional states, which for me helped a lot as a hypnotherapist. I was very much, and as an intuitive person, I can tap into how they're feeling and use my knowledge, the techniques that I know, to help adults. I'm using them on my children. And so when they have their moments, like my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, it was heartbreaking. She was sitting in front of the entrance door and was like screaming, I want daddy, I want daddy. It's horrible to go through those situations. And it's easy to say, like, oh, let's just distract a child. Well, that is not good to do all the time. What is important is that we stay with the feeling, as uncomfortable as it is, so that as we acknowledge that feeling, we also heal, rather than keeping it inside of us. And so as I've learned that through my own journey, I'm teaching my child, my 2-year-old child, that skill. And I just sat there with her on the floor, and she was crying and kicking. And I said, I really feel your pain, my love. I really do. And I am so sorry. And she didn't want me to touch her. She didn't want me to hug her. And I said, that's okay. Mommy is sitting here. You are not alone. I'm sitting here. And when you are ready, you can come and give me a hug. I am here for you. And my son came and said, Mommy, what is happening? And I said, look, Vanessa is very sad right now because she's missing daddy. And I need to sit here with her. Do you want to join? Do you want to go back to what you were doing? And he's like, oh, okay, this is happening. All right, I go. And I stood there with her. And then she calmed down and came, gave me a hug and cried. But she knew she wasn't alone. I was sitting there with her. I didn't stop her from feeling those emotions, as difficult as they were for the both of us, because as a mom, we feel the pain of our children. And so I helped her to go through that. And thank God it didn't happen again. And I truly believe that it didn't happen again because we really went through it together. She knew she was supported, and she went through that pain. And it doesn't mean that she didn't miss her dad, but it just meant that she had the opportunity to really feel those feelings and move forward.
Yeah, and especially that she's allowed to feel this in front of you. And that's important, that children don't have to hide how they feel and think. And I had a situation like that as well. It was right in the beginning, where I myself was still angry with the situation. But my daughter, my youngest, she was at that time, I guess, 6, 7. And she cried. She wanted to have her dad, and she had to go to bed. And sometimes he was coming. He had a 10-minute drive. And sometimes, but this evening, he didn't come. And she was crying and saying, oh, daddy's not loving me. And so, and I could have said, it would have been possible to say, hey, yeah, you're right. Your dad doesn't love you. But I didn't. also I was angry as well. I said, no, Daddy loves you, of course, but he's not able to come today. It's not possible, but he really loves you from his the deepest of his heart. But just today, he's not possible to come. And yeah, and it was inside me like, oh, I was so angry because he didn't come.
Yes, yes, I
And
understand.
but on the other side, having to say to tell your kid, no, he loves you. Of course, he loves you. And I was so furious, and I was so angry, and I was, whoa, it was. But yeah, why should I tell a 7-year-old girl, no, your daddy doesn't love you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, yeah,
I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, we have to overcome our own emotions for the
absolutely.
well-being of our children because we just hurt them even more. Yes, your dad doesn't love you. Oh my goodness, what would have that done to a child, you know?
Yeah,
It would have broken their heart even more. Instead, it's like, oh no, okay, oh, daddy loves me still. And
yes,
it's just not possible today, and it makes me sad, but I know that daddy loves me, you know. And it's really, really beautiful. And what I tell my children is that our hearts and our love is connected with a thread, with an invisible thread. So wherever they are, my love is always there
yeah,
because they spend more time with me than they with their dad, right? And so there's sometimes a bit of anxiety to go and stay with their dad. And now that they're staying for like a week, it's the first time that they're so long, so far away from me. There has been a little bit of anxiety. And I'm like, just remember the thread, you know, the thread of love, that heart. And it was so beautiful that a couple of months ago, 3 months ago or something, I came across a video on YouTube that was literally showing that in images. It was
okay,
just incredible. It was like a little video of showing how the hearts are connected with the parents for as long as we live, you know. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to show this to my son so that he can really like see it, not just
yeah,
visualize it and make it up in his mind, which is also great for their
yeah,
imagination. But it's like, oh yes, this confirms what mommy is
yes.
telling me. I can see this now. And it was just so beautiful. And it really helps our children that we support them in that rather than being led with the hate that
Absolutely, yes.
comes from separation.
Yeah. And what I learned from one coach, that it's also important to say when you are emotionally yeah, when you're sad or something else happened and your kid asks you, is something wrong, mom? And you say, no, everything's fine. That's not good, because then they think, okay, mommy seems upset, tired, sad, or something like that, but it seems normal. It's okay. No, it's not okay. And it's important to say, oh no, today I feel sad, and I'm really sad because, yeah, it's so handling everything alone. It's so, yeah, it's frustrating. And today I'm just tired and I just cried. Just
Mm-hmm.
be open. Just
Absolutely.
just think about the words you use, but be honest also with
Mm-hmm.
your kids. No matter how old they are, they will understand that
100%.
today is the day where you're very tired because you've been working in the office or in the production or wherever you work, and now you have to do the whole household, cooking and everything, looking for 1, 2, 3 kids. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough.
It is. It
It's
is.
really tough,
And
but
the amazing thing is that you can actually empower your children in those moments.
absolutely.
I hurt my shoulder. Um, I don't know how long it was, but obviously within the year that we've been separated and I was alone and I could not move. It was just really, really painful. And I was trying to get my kids ready for school. And in the meantime, I was wondering, how am I going to get them to school? I cannot
Mm.
drive like this. Um, am I going to call a cab? I can't, who can I call? So I had to solve this problem on how do I get these kids to school and nursery whilst getting them ready and having this excruciating pain where does this come from? Why do I have it? You know, all of that chatter that we have in our heads as responsible human beings of two little ones is like, whoa, this is a little overwhelming now. And then I have children that morning, for some reason, they decided they didn't want to get ready. So I usually have no problems. We have our routine. They know what is happening. It's good. But that morning, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I honestly, I had a kind of a breakdown, and I was like, all right, I'm going to let this go. And the kids are going to notice. They're going to feel it now that mommy is really upset and I'm in pain. And I just sat down and I'm like, I'm really in pain. And I let the tears just come. And they just stopped. They were like, mommy, what's happening? Because our children want to see us happy as well. So it's not like I'm putting up a scene or something. That's how I feel right now. And I feel like crying, and I'm going to cry now. And I said, kids, I really need your help. Mommy is not feeling good at all. I have this pain. I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to get you to school and nursery. But I need your help. I need you to please get ready, put your clothes on. And they're totally capable of doing that. Even my 2-year-old. And my well, at the time, 2-year-old, and my 5-year-old was actually able also to support his little sister. So you actually empower the kids to be helpful, to help each other, and that creates family bonding.
Absolutely, yes, it's great. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And we went through that period of time until I felt better, which was another miraculous story that I could tell another time. But when I felt better, it was like amazing. You know, we came together as a family and we made this happen. It's incredible. The best thing you can do is really to be open with your children. And as you said, choose the right language that is understandable for them.
So Shirley, you're also a businesswoman. You just a few minutes ago, you said you are a hypnotherapist.
Yes.
What exactly are you doing? Who are you helping? What's your big vision for you and the people you're helping?
Yeah, so I have studied with Paul McKenna hypnotherapy, and that has been an incredible journey for me. So I'm very intuitive. I'm a life coach, and when I moved, I decided I would do this course with Paul McKenna, and it has really brought me through an incredible journey. As I've studied hypnotherapy, I have gone through a lot of healing myself, because I had to practice it. I practiced it with my co-students. I practiced it on friends and neighbors and clients. And so very quickly I grew into a very successful hypnotherapist. Paul McKenna said that, so I can say it.
I'm sure you are, yeah.
But yeah, I do really see results in just one session. So, and it has supported me so much. And so now I decided to really go into very in depth with helping ambitious women in business to connect with their intuition in their spirit guides, to access this unique guidance to elevate their business. So I do support them by doing certain meditations, and connect really with their intuition and with this beautiful guides that we have around us. And hypnotherapy really supports me in using different techniques as well as spiritual techniques. And so we can receive results very, very quickly.
Great. Yeah, where can people find you? I'm
on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Connect with Your Intuition. And yeah, it's a free group you can join and listen to the trainings that I provide there for free.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Ambitious Single Moms, Stories of Strength and Success. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, Shirley, today here with us and sharing your journey and the insights of your journey with us today. I hope you found her story as inspiring and empowering as I did. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and your questions you have for Shirley. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. And all the links and additional resources about Shirley, about her Facebook group, and myself, you can find it in the show notes below. And your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing your amazing content. So until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep thriving. See you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us on Ambitious Single Moms, Stories of Strength and Success. Let's embark on this journey together and rediscover the magic in our lives. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our next episode.